Fantasy may be one of the most successful gaming franchises in history, but it hasn't had much luck as a film series. Usually because the films ended up with convoluted plots that alienated the audience. You'd think Square Enix would do things differently by making their latest film, Kingsglaive Final Fantasy XV, into something cohesive. But it too ends up being a beautiful head-scratcher that never quite connects during its nearly 2-hour runtime. When I say Kingsglaive is beautiful, what I really mean is gorgeous. Every office building and every leafy tree is brought to life through a spectrum of vibrant color and excellent lighting and shadow effects. It's so realistic there were times I actually forgot I was watching an animated movie. The character designs are also impressive. Every freckle, every drop of sweat, every strand of perfectly gel-swept hair looks fantastic. The only time I remembered these characters weren't real was when they stared blankly into the distance. Perhaps they were busy trying to puzzle out the movie's overwritten plot. The basic premise of the story isn't hard to follow. For years, the technologically advanced empire of Niflheim has been at war with Lucis, the only nation standing between it and world domination. Niflheim fights with monsters and machines, while Lucis employs a magical fighting force known as the Kingsglaive. So far, so good. The story threads start to tangle once Niflheim's scheming chancellor Arden Azunia offers a lopsided peace treaty to King Regis of Lucis, played majestically by Sean Bean. This leads to a diplomatic tit-for-tat between the nations as they try to outmaneuver each other before the day of the peace treaty signing. At first, Lucis has the upper hand, but when the Empire starts doing some evil things to win the political chess match, it's up to Kingsglaive leader Nyx Ulrich and Princess Luna Freya of Tenebrae to stop it. The explosive, adrenaline-fueled action sequences peppered throughout the film are really fun to watch. But the political intrigue? Not so much. There are too many characters doing too many things with too little explanation. I understand some of the ambiguity is meant to nudge the audience into playing the upcoming game so they can learn the whole story, but the result is a movie that feels scrambled and unfocused. The only thing anchoring the story is the solid voice work. I was worried when Square Enix announced that Aaron Paul would be doing the voice of Nyx and Lena Headey the voice of Luna, because I thought that every time I heard those two characters converse, it would sound like Queen Cersei from Game of Thrones discussing politics with Jesse from Breaking Bad. It turns out I had nothing to worry about. Both actors breathe life into their respective roles with the right amount of energy and emotion, and never once do they sound like they're resting on the laurels of their TV alter egos. Unfortunately, not every performance is as good. Side characters tend to over-deliver their lines, sound disconnected, or both. It doesn't help that the over-baked, dry-as-toast script lacks emotional versatility. Even a lighthearted moment between friends ends up feeling so serious. And when you have nothing but serious moments, it's hard to take anything seriously at all. The heavy-handedness may be typical of Final Fantasy, but happily that's not the only nod to the series. As a longtime fan, I was charmed by all the little Easter eggs I spotted, like the behemoth that shows up to fill the screen and menace the heroes. With all the modern architecture and amenities in Kingsglaive, it can be easy to forget it's a Final Fantasy film. So it's nice to be reminded the movie still has ties to its gaming roots. Kingsglaive is an incredibly beautiful film with lots of fun nods to its Final Fantasy origins. Unfortunately, it never quite finds its footing story-wise, even with the help of some incredibly talented actors who breathe life into their roles. For all things Kingsglaive Final Fantasy XV, keep it locked here on IGN.